dining room felt almost unreal that morning. The fire burned quietly in the corner, and the long table was covered with silver trays, tea, eggs, fruit, warm bread, everything neatly arranged. Jungkook stood near the window talking quietly with one of his guards, but when you entered, the attention shifted immediately. "You shouldn't call me," he said, walking over. "You are still weak." You sat down slowly. Jungkook took the seat beside her, not excess juice enough that his shoulder almost brushed hers. "Drink," he said gently. "I will calm you." She stood and lifted the cup, but her hands trembling slightly. She couldn't stop thinking about last night, how easily he had pulled the trigger, how calm he had looked while that surrounded them. He noticed, of course he noticed. "You are scared," he said quietly. "You've frozen." "No, I just..." Jungkook's voice softened even more. "You don't have to lie. Eat something," Jungkook said softly, breaking the silence. She nodded and took a small bite, though she couldn't swallow properly. He poured her another cup of tea. Eyes focused on her rather than the cup. His eyes brushed her slightly, and she flinched. Not because of him, but because of the memory of what those some hands had done the night before. Jungkook noticed his jaw tightened for a second, but he said nothing. The door opened softly. Jungkook's right-hand man stepped inside and bowed slightly. "Boss, I need a movement." Jungkook's gaze flickered towards you, then back to his man later. It's important, sir," the man insisted. Jungkook's expression hardened. He stood up slowly, brushed his thumb over your hand in a small, reassuring gesture, and said softly, "I will be back. Keep eating, Angel." You nodded weakly, and he left the room, unaware that the truth waiting outside would shatter everything she believed. In the private study, the right-hand man placed a folder on the desk. "We traced the attackers," he said. "They were paid by someone from the family." Jungkook's face didn't change. "Who from the family?" he said. The man hesitated, then spoke quietly. "Your grandfather." "Grandfather? He wants revenge for his son's death. He thinks hurting you will finish his anger." The word hit in the room like ice. Jungkook's fingers tightened on the folder, his jaw clenched. He thought of your small face, her soft voice, the way she trembled. He had 1,000 reasons to burn that old man to dust. There was one more truth. The right-hand man told him a truth that made Jungkook's stomach drop. The attackers hadn't only wanted to scare, they had come ready to kill. Jungkook hadn't known that at first. He had thought they were trying to hit him, to test him. He hadn't realized they truly aimed for you. That idea shocked him. He felt anger rather than a cold shame. He had protected her with bullets, yes, but he hadn't known she had been the real target. The thoughts of it made him furious in a way he hadn't felt before. "Watch him closely," Jungkook ordered. "Every move, every call. If he breathes near her again, I will end it." He paused softer for a moment, but now let her keep believing that she wants about her family. When Jungkook returned to the dining room, he wore a calm mask. "You look up," her eyes worried. "Everything okay?" she said while hesitated. "Just work," he said with a small, careful smile. He sat beside her and smoothed the napkin at her sleeves. "You need to eat. You are weak." He reached out and brushed a strand of hair from her face. His touch was gentle, almost afraid to hurt her. "You are safe here," he whispered, "always." Inside, Jungkook's thoughts were darker. He knew his grandfather wanted revenge because you was the rival daughter. The old man blamed you for his son's death. You were so innocent, she didn't believe to this violent world, and Jungkook heart once stone now refused to let go. He will hide the truth from her, he will keep her close, and if his grandfather was or anyone else tried to hurt her again, Jungkook will do whatever it took to stop them, even if it means crossing lines he had never crossed before. That evening, the sound of car engine echoed through the long driveway. Jungkook looked up at his aunt step out, elegant, proud, and always watching everything with sharp eyes. Jungkook, she greeted warmly, her voice full of fake sweetness. You are changed since I saw you. Aunt Jungkook replied coldly, you came from Italy earlier than expected. Yes, she smiled. Business was finished sooner, and I heard about last night's little incident. Her tone carried curiosity and hidden judgment. Inside the mansion, she met you the moment her eyes landed on the girl. Her smile faded. The daughter of a rival, and she already hated her. Her eyes scanned you from head to toe. You looked down quickly, her hand shaking slightly. She remembered how Jungkook had once yelled at his aunt for insulting her. Since that day, the woman hated for her had only grown stronger. Jungkook noticed the tension immediately. Aunt, he said warningly. Don't start, but his aunt just smiled, thinking, of course, no dear, I only came to meet her. Still, her eyes were full of venom. In the days that followed, Jungkook's aunt stayed in the mansion. Whenever Jungkook was busy, she would find excuses to be near you, only to hurt her with words. Oh dear, she would say sweetly, must be strange living here in the same house where everyone. You stay silent, tell me, the aunt continued, mocking. Do you really think someone like you belong here? A rival's daughter in the mansion of the most dangerous man in the world. You bite her lip. She wanted to leave to hide, but she couldn't. Every word made her heart ache. Still, she didn't argue. She just nodded and whispered, excuse me, before walking away, but the aunt was not done. One evening, she whispered quietly near you, you know, dear, men like Jungkook protect you only until they get bored. After that, you will be nothing. Your eyes filled with tears. She didn't reply. She just turned and left, her heart breaking a little more. Each day, the aunt was not alone in her hated Jungkook secretly, who had always been jealous of you, had also been waiting for a chance to run her. One afternoon, the aunt met the secretary privately in the library. She's the reason Jungkook shouted at me in front of everyone. The aunt hates she, changing him, making him weak. The secretary smirked, and she's the reason he insulted me, but maybe we can fix that. How? The secretary leaned closer, whispering, we create a scandal, something that makes Jungkook believe she betrayed him. Once he doubts her, he will do the rest himself. The aunt smiled quietly. Go on, we will use his card. The secretary continued, we will fake a story. Say she was seen with him at night, too close, too familiar. I will arrange photos, fake messages, everything. And Jungkook will believe it. He trusts her, the secretary said darkly, but he also has a temper. Once he feels betrayal, he would not think twice before pushing her. The aunt leaned back, her eyes full of satisfaction. Perfect. Let the little girl taste fair. Snow fell gently outside the massive glass windows of the mansion, coating the infant and white, a sharp contrast to the warm bring inside. Jungkook just you sat near the edge of the couch, his hands gripping the blanket tightly. She would hear Jungkook's footsteps and went through the marble floor, slow and dangerous, the kind that made her heart race and fear. He stopped behind her, the warmth of his presence pressing against her back like a shadow that refused to leave. Why are you sitting out there alone. Jungkook's voice was low, smooth, almost dangerous. Why do you keep avoiding me, Angel? His voice was low, rough, and it made her flinch. I am not avoiding you, she whispered, her voice trembling. Jungkook moved closer, his breath brushing the side of her neck. Then look at me, but she couldn't. Her whole body froze every time she looked into those dark, cold eyes. She saw the man everyone feared, the man who could destroy lives with a single command. He reached out and lifted her chin up, forcing her to meet his gaze. You are trembling again, he said softly. Are you afraid of me? You? Tears welled in her eyes. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The silence said everything. Jungkook's jaw tightened, something dark flickered in his eyes. Pain, anger, frustration. He wanted to hold her, to calm her, but his obsession twisted that desire into something fierce and uncontrollable. He leaned closer until their foreheads almost touched. His voice turned rough, full of wounded pride. I can't stand this distance anymore. You tried to move away, but Jungkook's hand tightened around her waist, not enough to hurt, but enough to stop her. His control was slipping. The mighty mafia king, always calm, always in command, was losing himself over one trembling girl. Please let me go, she whispered, her voice cracking. Jungkook closed his eyes. You don't understand. What do you do to me? You make me weak. Her tears only fell faster. The fear in her eyes tore something inside him apart. He wanted her to see that he was not a monster, that the darkness he carried was not meant to hurt her. She loosened his grip and stepped back. His chest rose and fell heavily as he turned away, feet clenched. Why are you crying? He said harshly, his voice breaking. I am not your enemy. I could be your entire world if you did just let me. You hugged herself, sobbing quietly. The sound made his anger file again, not at her but at himself, at the fact that no matter how much he wanted to show her love, all she ever saw was danger. He slammed his feet into the wall beside him. The sound echoed through the room and she flinched violently. He turned, eyes softened when he saw her terrified expression. Slowly he walked back towards her and crouched down in front of her. Don't cry, he whispered. His voice was softer now, but even as he said it, he knew it was not true. He had already hurt her, not with his hands but with his presence, his anger, his inability to control what he felt. He reached out, brushing her tears away with trembling hands. You looked up at him through her tears. For a second she saw something behind those dark eyes, a man haunted by his own demons, not just a monster. Jungkook, she whispered, she don't know what to do. The man who terrified the entire underworld was sitting before his, broken by his own emotions. Jungkook stood again, his tone firm but low. I will give you space tonight, but you. His voice dropped, dangerous and soft. Don't mistake my distance from indifference. You are mine whether you want it or not. After the storm of emotion, Jungkook didn't let you go. He quietly lifted her in his arms and carried her to the room. His movement was gentle, yet there was a strange possessiveness in the way his finger brushed her skin, like he was afraid she did disappear if he let go. Sleep, he murmured, pulling the blanket over her trembling form. You need rest. You hesitated, eyes still wet with tears, but exhaustion slowly took over. Her breathing softened, her body relaxed, and soon she drifted into sleep beside him. Jungkook stayed awake. The moonlight spilled across her face, and he couldn't stop looking at her, the same girl who had turned his ruthless world upside down, he brushed a strange of hair from her forehead and whispered to himself, "You don't even know what you have done to me." Every rise and fall for her breath pulled him deeper into something dangerous, something he couldn't name. The guard stood near the door, shifting nervously. He was not a bad man, just loyal and scared. He knew Jungkook's aunt was dangerous, but when she called him to her office, he don't dare refuse. Aunt sat behind the table and cruel smile on her lips. "You will do something for me," she said, her tone smooth but poisonous. The guard frowned slightly. "Yes, ma'am, you will give this jacket to you," she said, casually holding out a soft grey coat. He hesitated. "But why me? Can't one of the maids?" Her voice disappeared. "Because I told you to do it." The guard lowered his eyes quickly. "Yes, ma'am." Then as he reached for the jacket, her voice dropped to a whisper, "And remember, your wife and daughter live in the city, don't they?" He froze. Her smile returned, calm, chilling, confident. "Do as I say and they will stay safe. Do anything foolish and you will never see them again." His throat went dry. "I understand, ma'am." You stood in the garden near the corridor, arms wrapped around herself, the cold air brushed against her bare shoulders. She hadn't noticed how lately it had gotten. The guard walked up quietly, holding the same jacket. "Miss you," he said softly. "Please take this. You will get a cold." She looked up, surprised. "Oh, thank you. You didn't have to." He shook his head quickly. "It's fine. Please wear it." He lifted the jacket slightly, but just as he did, the sound of footsteps echoed sharply through the marble floor. The aunt appeared first, fake shock already painted on her face. Beside her, the secretary walked with quiet steps, and behind them, Jungkook was approaching. The secretary smirked inwardly, knowing exactly what scene they had created.